So, Jelani, you say the food at Garifuna Flava is unbelievable. Tell us why you chose it.
I chose it because I used to work in that neighborhood, and it's unique. Over there's not very many sit-down restaurants, and when you come in, it's not fried, it's not Americanized Caribbean food. It's like, I guess I never had Belizean food before. I think it's authentic. At least what they tell me it's authentic.
It's the only one in Chicago.
Yeah.
One of two. I did my research before I came to the show, and there's another one, but it's nowhere near as popular.
So now that you've been there a few times and it's become one of your favorite places, what are some of your must-have dishes now?
Must-have dishes. Well, they just recently, by I guess popular demand of the neighborhood, got jerk chicken because they didn't have it before.
Yes, there was a big sign that said "Now back."
The owner was telling me.
Now
The owner was telling me that
available.
that came from the fact that so many people came in and they thought Caribbean. They were like jerk chicken. And he's
Right.
like, no, not Jamaican.
Right.
This is
Caribbean.
Belize,
Right.
Garifuna.
It's like African
Not
Latin
to be
food.
confused.
I like panadas though. It's like a fried fish taco. They should sell that in the grocery store. It's like amazing with the little cabbage sauce.
It's sort of a cross between an empanada and a tamales.
Yeah.
Well, he was not happy when I referred to it as an empanada. He said, "No, it is totally different," and it was different. I mean, it was definitely not an empanada, but we sat down and we had never been there, obviously. And he's like, "Well, you have to try these, this buffalo fish panadas or whatever." And he brought that real spicy slaw
Habanero
out.
sauce,
Yeah, it was great. I mean, I'm sure he loved that I was sitting at the bar asking him every possible question about the menu.
This is Hussein, the son.
Yes, yeah, and where's this at, and what kind of food is it? But he was really nice, and he explained that it's kind of a cross between like Latin American, Caribbean, and African food. And I'd never had any of those three things isolated or together, but I loved it. I thought it was great.
So, Wendy, you got sort of a lesson on the Garifuna people.
I did, yes. I got
you
a whole cultural lesson on the
What did you
Garifuna
learn?
people. Well, I learned a lot of things about them. First of all, I learned that there's only 600,000 of them in the world, and that they're mostly in Costa Rica and Belize, and that they're totally different than the rest of the people there. The women and the men speak a different language, and I felt like when I was there, I felt like it was definitely like we had escaped to this new experience. Like I was in a completely different world.
There is a
They
very
were
much
listening.
staycation aspect.
Yeah,
to this,
there-
right?
and there was like the
Staycation,
music they were playing was Garifuna music, and the food was very, very different than anything I would normally eat, but it was delicious. I mean, the conch fritters were incredible. The stewed shrimp was delicious. And just even the way that they did the beans and rice mixed together, I thought was really, really yummy.
Stewed beans and rice?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then what was so cute about it was that it was the whole family there. Like I met the mother.
Yeah.
He said to me, this is how I eat every day. This is how my
Yeah.
mom cooks. And that's my mom in the kitchen. So we went back there and we introduced ourselves to her, and the daughter was with her, and they were so friendly. And
I love that it was like a family. Chicago is known for more of like the Italian restaurants, and that's very like Italian. Like the whole family's there, the whole family's bringing the food, and we started with the plantain chips and the salsa and the guac, which was really good.
The guacamole was so good with the plantain.
It's such a
Yeah.
unique thing, right?
So
Plantain
delicious.
chips. I've never heard of that before.
do love plantain chips, so I hadn't had them in a
We were
while, so I was
fighting over
happy
the
to
last
have
bite.
those. And then I spent 15 minutes laboring between the soup, the coconut stew,
Whatever. The soup. Yeah.
or the Belize chicken. And he's like, you know what? My mom can just make you some of that. So she brought me out a little chicken leg of the stewed chicken to go with the soup I ate with the huge red snapper floating in it. And then there was a sign that said, now back this cornbred, the Dakota or Dakota or something, which I guess is very
Journey cakes?
yeah. They're like
They were out of them when we were there.
So I was like, well, we have to try that. If it's now returning, it must be special. So we had that, and my husband had the jerk chicken, which was the spiciest jerk chicken I've ever had in my entire life, but very tasty.
That's the standard.
Yeah, and then we had rice and beans. It was very good.
One of the things that I also thought was so amazing was how incredibly clean the place
Yeah,
was.
that was like the top
It was
5
the
cleanest restaurants I've ever been in.
restaurant I've ever been. It was amazing.
And tell us a little bit about the neighborhood. Because it's unique. I mean, there's different cultures on this one block, depending how far you go down.
It's really interesting. Like, there's a good mix of people. Like, you go further down, there's a lot of Mexican restaurants further down 63rd. One time I went in there, the alderman was there. So it seems to be like the people who are involved in the community really come out and support.
Well, there's
And so they were-
banners on the street, 63rd Street, Chicago.com.
Yeah, there's a little shopping
Yeah.
shopping district
Trying to
there.
revitalize the neighborhood.
Exactly.
Right.
They're trying. And that was, I guess that's how this restaurant got there.
And they're really
They
into
take pride
Barack
in that.
Obama over there.
Yes, they are.
Well, I said to Hussein, I said, what's the religion? Because, Hussein's a Muslim
Right.
name. He's like, no, my father just like, the name Hussein. And he said,
Catholic.
yeah, for the longest
Yeah.
time it was like, oh, like Saddam Hussein. He's like, no, it is like Barack Hussein.
My brother's name is Shadrach, so they like the name.
The brother was not
He
there.
had a funny last name too. It was like Hussein.
Castillo.
Castillo, right? And he said
Almost
that
like
that's like
Spanish.
totally normal.
Yeah.
But it made me feel like I
more.
really wanted to go to Belize.
Yeah.
That was like the takeaway, and we had a really good time.
All right, here we go. So, Jelani, you recommended Garifuna Flava.
Yes, I did.
Sum it up for us.
It's a unique eating experience on the south side of Chicago. It's very affordable, and I think it's cool for like a family vibe, like going somewhere and feeling like you fit in.
Candace?
If you want something different without breaking the bank, I would recommend it, and I think it would be great in January with a big group feeling like you got away for the day.
Wendy?
It was so clean, and it was such a family-friendly group of people, and the food was something so unique that you wouldn't experience anyplace else. I would definitely recommend it.
Well, you can sample the Belizean specialties and more at Garifuna Flava, 2516 West 63rd Street, 773-776-7440. They're open for lunch and dinner every day. Limited reservations are accepted, and the average tab per person without drinks is $15.